Hello, I'm Claire Snowdon-Darling,
I'm Laura Knowles.
and we want to talk to you about the vegan diet and really the quantity of processed food that's in the vegan diet.
Yes, this is something we see a lot in clinic, and there is this belief that a vegan diet is healthy. It is pushed in the media, and it is a common conception that cutting out meats and fishes and dairy products is good for the health. What we see is vegans, to get variety in their diet, tend to move towards processed foods. And what we are seeing is that the more the food is processed, the worse it is for the body.
Mm.
So one of
So
the
the so sorry, go on. So the other thing is that I remember someone saying to me that if you're a meat eater and you become vegetarian, you replace meat with cheese. And then when you become vegan, you replace cheese with wheat. And so wheat is one of the main allergens on the planet. We are absolutely committed to teaching people to exclude it from their diet because there's a whole other video. Go check out all our other videos. But it's a huge contributing factor to inflammation in the body. So when you're eating a lot of wheat and then you start to put in processed food, now we're talking about a diet that is not healthy for anyone apart from the food manufacturers and their bank balance. So even if you're not eating the wheat and you go, no, I'm really careful with that. Now, what you might be doing is adding in a lot of processed food. Over to you.
So there's something called the Nova Food classification system, which I really like because it identifies where a food sits. And this can really help if you are planning your food and your diet. And it can also be eye-opening if you're able to go, oh my goodness, the majority of my food is processed, even though it's sold in a health food store and maybe it's got all of these claims and all these labels. But hang on a minute, it's in the processed category. So I'm going to go through them. So group one is the unprocessed or minimally processed foods. So this is meat, fish, fruit, veg.
Veg.
That's kind of it. And actually, the more that our diet can be in this category, the better. The next one is group two, which is oils, fats, salts, and sugars. So this could be oils made from seeds and nuts, for example. This can be honey. This can be syrups, starches, butters, lards, that kind of thing. So a little bit from group two is okay. I mean, we do say like having good fats in your diet is important. Move to group three. This is processed foods. This is anything canned or bottled. This is an extract. This is fruits that are in cans that are in syrups. This is bacon. This is beef jerky. This is canned fish. This is coconut fat in cans. So there's a lot of canned foods within the group three. Group four is the ultra processed food category. This is your biscuits, your ice creams. When you think about the supermarket, it's the middle of the supermarket. It's all the cereals, it's all of the sodas, it's all of the crisps, it's all of the foods that have been modified and processed so much that they don't really resemble what they started off as. And the studies show us that people who eat in this category, this ultra processed food category, and a lot of people do in the Western world, we all tend to eat the cereals and the biscuits, and there's a lot of people who eat that. This is where the ill health comes from. This is where the cancers come from. This is where the heart disease comes from. So the more that we can avoid the middle of the supermarket and the more that we can eat from category one, the better. And this comes back to our original point around the vegan diet, is that because, yes, they're maybe eating the fruits and vegetables and they're eating from that part of the category one. But when you go into a health food store, there is so much there that sits in category four in the
In a
ultra
box.
processed
It's got a
with
long
lots of
shelf
health,
life.
with lots of health claims on it. And so
Yeah.
people think they're
And
eating healthy and they're
and
not.
they're not. And then also you just need to start looking at those kind of beyond meat, plant-based burgers and plant-based chicken nuggets. I literally don't even understand, but like those plant-based chicken nuggety things. And as soon as you start looking on the back of the packet, I mean, if you pick up a leg of lamb, the ingredients are lamb. If you pick up a Beyond Meat burger, you generally need to have done some kind of chemistry qualification to understand what half of the ingredients are in. It's been so messed around with, and there's so many seed oils in there and so much industrial gloop that ultimately it's just inflammatory, and that is really the problem.
I think one of the biggest challenges that we have is that we hark on about protein all the time and the importance of protein. The body needs protein. And when we are working with a vegan client, the protein options that we have, the vegan protein options we have, are massively processed. So we're looking at protein shakes, we're looking at tofu, we're looking at soy-based products, but again, they've been massively processed. That's about it.
Yeah, it's minimal. All the sort of like the plant-based burgers that have got protein added into them from soy, usually it's so processed, and this is where an awful lot of the inflammation comes from. So can we just talk about, because a lot of people say they feel great 6 months to a year after swapping into a vegan diet, and that is usually because they've started thinking more about the food. Maybe they've excluded so much sugar, maybe they have reduced, dairy, wheat, those things. But it's actually the hormones start to become destabilized and literally start falling over. I mean, some people notice it within 6 weeks. I've had people go, "Oh, 6 weeks ago I started being vegan and my periods are horrendous." So some people notice it really fast. And what people will tend to notice first is things like digestive issues. They'll get joint pains. Thyroid issues are really, really common with vegans, and then also these period instabilities. So, and even up to, fertility issues. So we do see a regular, like a theme, but there will be this place where the hormones become destabilized and then symptoms appear in the body.
This is absolutely what we specialize in. So if you want to learn more, check out our websites, and we've got plenty of videos on this, and it's covered in all of our training courses.